Alright, today I'm going back to my roots where I started working on the farm at age 10 or 12, and I'm feeding the baby calves, which is definitely a difficult job, but you know, even now that I'm 30, I have to be willing to fill in even on the most unwanted jobs. So that's just the way farming works. And it's a bit nostalgic, I'll admit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some pelleted grain for the babies. The babies eat a mix of pelleted grain, hay, water, milk. So they get a good diverse diet. Here we see this hopper that somebody comes and fills up once every couple weeks. And this convenient wheelbarrow of sorts. So if we pull this latch right here, it's gravity fed and more grain drops down. It's pretty convenient. So let's pull it out and fill up the buckets. One of the best parts about farming is that you always stay in shape. Gavin, where are the babies at? Gavin, where are the babies? Gavin, maybe in here. Where did the babies go? Don't worry, these are just being cleaned for the next babies. We have to keep the hutches clean so the babies don't get sick. Alright, what you're looking at right now is the inside of a John Deere skid steer, and what I'm doing is going to be getting a bucket load of shavings that get delivered to us once every, I don't know, a couple weeks. And these shavings is one of the most important aspects of the farm. Basically, to keep the cows and the calves' beds clean, we take this bucket, which is plugged into the skid steer via the hydraulic hoses right here, and we spray the shavings onto the beds of the milk cows while they're being milked, or we shovel them into the hutches of the calves to keep them clean. And clean cows equals healthy cows equals healthier milk. You get paid more for cleaner milk, and yeah, it's just all around good deal. So let's lock this bucket in here and maybe adjust a few things. It even has a fancy seat belt of sorts. Now, the most frustrating part about these machines is they're great machines, but the buttons oftentimes do not cooperate. But overall, it seems to be going pretty well. So I don't know if anyone's going to get this reference, probably not, but this kind of reminds me these controls of kind of like a video game controller, and it kind of feels like I'm in a Mech Warrior, if you know that reference. So let's get a big scoop of shavings here, and thank goodness we have this new skid steer, which is a closed cab, because back in the day I used to get all the shavings in my eye and it was just miserable. So it looks like I got a little too big of a load of shavings, and I don't want to lose those on the way back. So let's lose a little bit of those shavings. That should be about good. Here's my nephew Gavin pointing at me, and the cows are also watching too. And then my mom. Maybe we'll say hi here real quick. Hi, Gavin. How's it going? Oh yeah, that looks comfortable. You want to come over and join us over by the calves for a bit? Hey Gavin, can I get some shavings there really quick? You mind? So basically what Gavin and I are doing is we are getting shovels full of shavings for the babies and throwing them into their beds. It's kind of like when you get your diaper changed, Gavin. This is keeping the cows clean. Alright, so what we do is we feed our calves twice a day, about 3 liters each time, and sometimes less if they're younger or for different reasons, depending. So I'm going to take a couple of these bottles that are heated up by this boiling hot water. We made a custom setup here that can keep our bottles warm, and I'm going to feed a couple babies while my aunt is doing the same thing. So we keep the babies in the individualized pens or hutches because that's the best way to make sure they're healthy for the first couple months of their life. We can individually care for them, it doesn't spread disease, but after a few months we feed them, we reintroduce them to the herd, and they get to live with each other, with their peer group, and they grow up for the rest of their life, you know, up to 10 years they live with each other out in the fields, in the barns, socializing. But for the first 2 months, to cut down on mortality rates and make sure they're completely healthy, we feed them individually. So let's feed a couple of these. Usually we put it in a little holder, but I'll let you get a view out here. It's pretty cute. These blankets really keep them warm during these winter months so they don't get pneumonia. But you'll see if we put it in the back here, it will come straight to the back. There they are. All right. As simple as that. One of the most satisfying things on the farm is to use a pitchfork. There's just something about the motion. But I bet you didn't know the pitchforks were used for more than just capturing medieval castles. You know, they're actually used for getting hay. Because nobody wants all that hay going down their coat or breathing all that hay dust. So a pitchfork, super satisfying. As I finish up for the day, I came to check out our milking parlor project and take a break from feeding the calves, which is a really hard job. And I was just thinking how blessed I am to be able to do what I do. And a lot of people come to me and they say, over social media mostly, that, you know, dairy farming is not something for the future. You shouldn't be able to raise animals, and milking cows isn't natural. You know, it's just, you get a lot of hate from people, especially vegans, and I say that's okay. They have the right to say whatever they want. The beautiful thing about living in the United States, it is so, let me tell you how rare it is in the world. There are so few countries where you can say what you believe strongly, and I respect the vegans for this. They can say what they want without any fear of reprisal from citizens, from government, and that is extremely rare, even in our world that has become more and more flat, where we think that we've become super evolved and that, you know, we've moved on past everything. Just those basic freedoms are beautiful, so I invite people, I invite the criticism, and I don't look for it, but it's okay. I can say whatever I want back, and that's just something to be thankful for. We also live in a world where maybe 1 billion people don't have access to, you know, good, clean water or sewage, and, you know, even our cows have both those things. Both the farmers and the cows are living amazing lives, and you know, just something to think about. Just be thankful for what you have. And if you don't have those freedoms, just know that you should be able to say what you believe, and no one should be able to stop you from doing that.